Really got to find a shortcut key for that bit of the presentation. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hey.
It's Niall.
How are you?
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 27th of June 2021 to the 3rd of July 2021. And we're joined by special guest Potato from Pui Pui Molka.
Hey. Oh, so glad you could be here, Potato. Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah. I should have put it on a soundboard. Anyway, if you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to see Potato, you'll have to come and watch the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and all that nonsense.
When you said it was really big, I figured it was like, beanbag or entire fucking like king size bed big.
Oh yeah, there is a king size bed one, but I think he costs like £220 or something.
Worth every penny.
Whoa.
Whereas that one cost 18 quid.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good for the size. I mean, I have no idea where I'm going to put it now, but
On the couch.
it's an extra pillow.
Yeah.
Couch cushion.
Except he doesn't have a zip, so you can't take your skin off and put that in the washing machine.
You should have got the zombie one.
And I know from when my mother worked at a dry cleaners, you can't take soft toys to the dry cleaners.
No.
No,
you can clean them though. There's a process for that. My family business is also like a laundry dry cleaners. You guys put them into like a bag with a lot of other stuff, and it keeps them in one piece while they're spinning around in the washer.
Yeah.
More tips in the show notes.
Anyway, we are here to talk about a whole bunch of anime, most of which are ending this week. And we're going to kick off with Moriarty the Patriot, episode 24, The Final Problem, Act 2. In which will Sherlock Holmes save William from his planned death as he enacts his final part of his scheme, which is to get the nobles of Britain and the common people of Britain on the same page by setting fire to their town.
Setting fire to London, that'll do it.
Oh yeah. Well, we got history, this kind of thing. Probably wouldn't want it to happen again. But it's always the slums burning down. Yeah, yes, but it'll soon spread to the factories. And if we're dead and you get no factories, you got no more money. He makes a fair point. Let's help put out this blaze.
We're all in the same boat together, lads. Yeah, it's a good thing that one very eloquently spoken protester was there with a shovel to open those gates. A few key players, but other than that, letting it play out on emotional stakes.
Yeah, it's Moran and what's the older brother's name? Albert are the ones who are going along with the plan entirely, and the other two are pinning their hopes that Sherlock can save William. And also James Bond is there.
Helping the little children who have been separated from their families in the middle of this hurly-burly, of this chaos. It's like, yeah, James Bond knows what that feels like, helping the kids. A friend of the children, James Bond.
Yeah, I thought this episode, I think it was Lewis's bit. I was like, oh, I bet there's a bit more characterization of him in the comic that would have made his bit work better.
It was the scar that was putting me off. It was like, oh, we already have a James Bond though, and he had a scar on his right cheek. So we're trying to think, who the fuck else could that be?
Yeah. We briefly see the tech guy again in the background. Again, yes, it's like it's just a few.
They got a very short shrift. Yeah.
I think there's the stuff with William and Sherlock works. I just felt like, I bet the beats with the other characters will work a lot better in the comic because they'll have had more character moments up to that point.
You want to know a little bit more why Albert goes all in on this thing. Like we get that. I he really believes in this plan and he really believes in this future. But he's the one who's going down for this the most. He's getting sent to fucking prison. So it's he's lots of status.
Yeah, it's the thing of they really want to get this ending done before they're cancelled and that kind of thing. But it does I was wondering how much it would suffer. It didn't suffer a crazy amount for being rushed, but it does there's definitely more details that need filling in with pretty much all the characters. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Sherlock and William face off on top of the Tower Bridge, not a waterfall.
Well, it has to. It's a show. It's a stage for them.
Yeah, this is what really happened. You see, the waterfall stuff was in the book that Watson wrote.
The novelization.
Plays into the end. Of the version of Moriarty we know was a specifically demonized version.
This is how cut this thing is. This is the first time they've established that Watson, under the pen name of Arthur Conan Doyle, writes the Sherlock Holmes thing, which they established way earlier in the comics. Kind of annoying.
And they William tries to. Well, Sherlock refuses to fight him, and so William just has to throw himself off the bridge himself. But Sherlock saves him and then leaps off the bridge with him, hugging him on the way down. And
my best friend. Yep. Property platonic.
They never find the body, and we discover that in order to do this, Sherlock got the Queen to agree to lessening the powers of the House of Lords.
With the House of Commons,
Yes. So that,
and British politics is saved to this day thanks to their brave efforts.
And also, Mycroft is allowing all this to happen because this is going to help set up MI6, which he's putting Lewis in charge of.
You feel like the Moriarty name would be a little bad to put in charge of it, but it is a secret organization. So
I assume he'll just be going by M.
We need a dude whose name begins at M. Mycroft is busy with his own stuff. We need a different dude. Moriarty, M. Good enough. The three of you, great. I'll pick whichever one is still alive or not in prison.
Yeah, Albert throws himself on the courts, so he basically says, I told my brother to do all that. And
in the meantime, he's given away his fortune to rebuild London, but not tell anyone that he did it.
Yes.
So,
And the other guys are off helping out around the country.
We're more on this I'm just going to kick back and just go to the countryside where I can shoot things all I want, probably.
And then we cut to Switzerland. Is this 3 months later? Do they say?
Yeah, thereabouts.
I think it says the 3 months later when it's checking in on everyone around England. But so presumably it's the same time period in Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sherlock's there, and then we look across the bar. Oh, and William's here as well. That's the guy he's looking for.
So that's after a certain guy, the kind of dude who would look at a spiral staircase and see the golden ratio.
Yes.
A giant nerd, in other words.
I'm looking for a beautiful nerd. Have you seen any lately?
Yes. This is not where the comic ends. There's a time skip, and it continues.
Did they fight like mystic crime? I kind of hope that's how it goes.
I don't know how it's going to work from this point on, because it does seem like a very different setup now that the bad guys are MI6. The bad guys of the show, who were the good guys, are now working for the Queen. And country, I guess.
I just hope they kind of just take a bunch of James Bond plots and just set them in the past.
Yes. I'm hoping they go full League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and just start pulling in things from other Victoriana stories.
Why, it's American secret agent Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
There are no volcanoes on mainland Britain. Nonetheless, we have a volcano base. That's comics for you.
But overall, a enjoyable series, though one whose politics aren't as far left as they seem at the start of the show.
No, they seem so left at the start, and they nearly fucking got there, but not quite. Yeah,
it's like, we gotta get ourselves in so we can, you gotta initiate change from within the system, not without, like we've been doing successfully, because no one dares does it. But now that you're in the system and we're proper and legitimate and saying, actually, let's take this slow and steady. I'm sure the nobles, after that one time they actually helped out and did something, will surely change their minds forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see if it's back. I don't know. I guess it will probably depend purely on Blu-ray sales. Or how much increases
and how legal
sales
they
of the
can
comic.
get away with,
Yeah, the James Bond thing seems like just playing with fire.
Like, let's introduce James Bond, but not use him very much because we'll get in a lot of trouble. Yeah,
He's James
Bond.
Bonda. Yes.
Dear.
Then we've got Megalobox Nomad, episode 13. Whose turn is it to have a go at the Spanish?
Oh yeah, that's true.
You go for it, Dal. You're better than me.
I think, yeah. You did the last one, so I gotta do it here. Have the actual translation ready because I didn't actually have that. Con alas lleva al sin alas y el sin as bendice el con alas. That means. Sorry.
Those with wings carry the wingless. Those without wings bless those with wings. With the sound of the bell, the match between Joe and Mac has finally begun, with both sides refusing to give up even an inch. The two continue on an intense fight, with friends and family watching over. The two head into the final round. That is technically what happens in some of the episode, but a lot of the episode is everything that isn't happening in the ring. Which I was like,
a lot of it is a conversation before and during the match. Yeah.
Yes. Which I thought actually worked better as an ending than the first series, because it felt like they realised the actual fight animation is not their strong point. It's the character stuff. And so by taking that out to a great deal, it worked. There's still some bits where it's just like punch, 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 punch. Like, and there's
some bits where they come close, but as previously been stated, it's not like one solid minute-long sequence or anything. It's just like, here's a cool little bit right here, but we're kind of back cutting to people on the side of the ring looking worried, like, oh, come on, Joe.
Yeah. But I mean, the show has never been about the kind of shonen thing of it's like, oh, that's the move he did there. He learned that from Grandpa Jones, and it's like, let me go into the detailed history of that specific footwork that he did. It's like it's never been that show.
It's got lots of close cuts, which means it never feels like you're watching a boxing match. It never feels like you're in the stands watching the boxing match.
I thought it was amusing when it was our two head corporate guys like talking in the room, and you see the fight on tiny little screens inside the room that they're not looking at.
Yes.
I was just like, yep, this is the plot.
Because the bulk of the story is like the political company play to take down our villain in the mildest manner possible, and to stop Mac from having to use the what do they call his
Mac time?
Now what's the science fiction thing he's got in his head?
The BES, the bioelectric.
That's it. I was going to say BTE, but
it makes you walk good.
That's the AEW web program. So yeah, a lot of it's focused around that and Mac's decision not to use that, and the science behind that. I think the animation's really good up to the credits, and then the credits run, and then you notice, oh, that's probably a different animation director after that, because it suddenly becomes a lot of keeping the camera on the commentators and having the commentators describe action we're not seeing.
Yep, that was even just really early on. It's just, oh, come on, just get on with the fun thing. Like they can talk over it, but show us some boxing whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a thing I think we forgot to discuss from 2 episodes ago of them telling Sachio to be the second and to throw the towel in if you think I'm going to lose. And then I remembered that last week, but I didn't want to say anything because that would give away that I'd already watched this episide, and I knew he was going to throw the towel in.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think that was one of the things of neglected to mention it, but I think it was an important plot thing of hey Sachio, do not let me die in the fucking ring, basically. Not giving him the responsibility, but giving him that level of control that he wasn't really given before.
There's like Joe's coming close as well, because he's really getting into this fight, and later on
he's not going to pull back. Basically.
Later he's not going to pull back, but someone else has got to step in to stop him from being reckless. So they trusted him with doing.
The other thing I felt watching this episode is I think it could have benefited a little earlier on the series by giving Max support team more character and more things to do, because this episode
I really hate that the cop that nearly fucking pulled a gun on a brown guy in a car is part of his fucking team. I was just like, can we have that character learn not to be racist, like a little arc for that piece of shit? Or like, yeah, we really learn about Mac very late into the fucking game.
Yeah, because this episode feels almost like Mac's the main character in the show.
Yeah.
It's trying to go like, this is his time now.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what the fight we didn't see years ago against Lou. This is what it should have been. It's like the passing of the torch. So it's Joe going like, I need to go out on like I do the best I fucking can, and Mac going like, yeah, he'll take it from here. Except Mac is retiring.
Mac is retiring, and it's hinting at another fight between Joe and Lou at the end.
Lou.
Which I wonder if they should do that as a movie rather than another series.
Yeah.
This does feel in some ways like a very like that transition, everything where like there's a lot of like changes going on, and as well. Joe passing things off, not just to Mac, let him be the champion boxer, let him be the face of this from now on, but also like Satchio is like, he's getting like going off and doing his own thing, and Joe gives me like a lift part of the way, but then he lets him off because you're tomorrow's Joe, Satchio, not me.
Yeah,
I'm yesterday's Joe.
I figured he was going to take the bike out of the back of the pickup and take the bike. He's like, no, you take my bike and everything. I was like, give him a helmet or something.
No,
it's the post-apocalypse. There's no time for helmets in the post-apocalypse.
Okay. Dear.
But yeah, the bulk of the episode is about the scientist from what's the company called?
Roscoe.
Roscoe, yeah. Her being the whistleblower, and
yeah. Again, like I kind of wish were introduced to her character earlier and got to know her a little better. Because I think she has an interesting arc where, like, obviously she's coming from the place that was taught by this guy as a professor of ethics and shit, and is like goes against that, and then it's like, what I did was fucked up, and people are going like, yeah, she did the fucked up thing, but she also blew the whistle, and we wouldn't have been able to do this without her.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Yukiko's taking. She's stepping down as well because she's going to take the blame as well as Sakuma,
and she's putting someone like decent in charge as well, like which is great. Like, yeah, she takes a real thing of corporate responsibility. And it's like it basically doesn't negate her growth in the first season. It shows that it's like, okay, I can't have been idealistic as I was from learning from the first season. It's like because I got fucked over by assuming people had the best intentions. Yeah.
Well, she comes to Sakuma in fairness to saying, dude, you got to get in front of this because it's not going to look good. And he's saying, yeah, but if I go down, you're going down with me. But I'm saying, I know I am. That's why I see you got to get in front of this shit because it's the only way it's going to go, man. And it'll look better on you if you do it. And he says, no way, man. He seems like, no, it'll all be fine. But he's off to prison on all the charges of that. So fuck him, I'd like to see him get his just desserts, and thank God as well as you can finally get out of those heels.
That was a pretty funny bit, actually.
Damn patriarchy in the corporate boardroom making me wear this shit every day. It's like, finally.
Well, and talking to her friend who replaces her, kind of like, hey, will you help me come like shopping for runners? And it's like, yeah, no bother. Like,
I can afford it.
I liked them putting her press conference at the end where. It wasn't more so to save her own ass and to make herself look good, but it was like, we're going to, and she mentioned it to himself as well, that they're going to do the BES as they're going to release the copyright on it.
Yeah, they're going to make it open source, so everyone can improve it.
And that way, like, even the flaws in it now are available for everyone to modify and experiment with, and to make it more humane and decent. Like, it's free technology to improve people's lives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good episode to a season that I was not overly impressed with, but I did like the ending. It wasn't as good
as the first season. Yeah, I would say for sure.
But I think it's a better ending than the first season's got, but weirdly.
Yeah.
Even with its flaws.
I think, like, come what may, reverse in between, I think that opening arc, or dealing with Chief and what was going on with them, will always have that, and that always felt really solid,
Yeah. If it was nearly like a short like that, it might work. That does work.
Yeah, I think part of the big part of the weakness is then repeating that plot with the shop immediately as he gets back with the orphans. Of like, oh, you've just done save the community centre. Now you're going to save the community centre again.
Yeah, it's a bit uneven, but like again, it's still a pretty solid show. And where the things it does well, it does very well.
Which is music and general character direction.
Yeah. Like a writing a movie could be good because you will be able to have like the great writing and the good characterization in here, and you'd have people who would know how to animate a boxing match, and it'll just be like fucking like Rocky 5 or fucking or whatever Rumble around right now, Megalo Rocky. That'd be good. Yeah. Anyways, again, we're buying that soundtrack as soon as it's out.
Yeah.
Then we've got Fruits Basket, the final season, episode 13. See you again soon. I'm going to remake it again.
Nah. It's more about this isn't goodbye, it's until we meet again, that old toy cliche. Because again, we're just like we're super happy and then getting much more bits out of the way. Because everyone's packing up, they're going off to college and they're going to go live somewhere else, or they're just going to get on with their lives, just going to live on a farm somewhere. It's all cool. So there's like, Kyo and Toru are going to move off, they're going to shack up somewhere. He's going to learn how to be a martial arts instructor. She's going to, I don't know, do laundry for him, something a bit more than that. But
I like the way it was kind of presented. It was like, okay, they're a couple now. They're going on a date to the zoo like they wanted to do, and then it's just like they got the two fucking chaperones.
The in-laws are here.
Toru's two moms who are the same ages are coming along and going like, hey, fuck you, Kyo. We've taken away our beautiful daughter. And it's basically them going, it's like, yeah, we know you're a decent guy, if an idiot. Yes, you are an idiot. But they're cool with it, but it's still talking about like how the partings are hurtful and everything, but they understand it's best to move on and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that's a lot of the episode.
We just like winding you up because it was fun, because you get mad so easily. But that's why. But we actually genuinely like you. So take care of our little baby. They'll be all right. Yuki's heading out to college. It's a nice little thing there with Kakeru, as well. Again, not the first person you would think would become like his best friend from starting out, because he's like, no, he's a lot more ostentatious, he's a lot more excitable. But like, no, the guy, easy thing going on, fun. Kakeru was like this way and Yuki's that way, and they just kind of bounce each other off because they're just fucking shoot the shit, talking about what they're gonna do.
So he's there to take the piss out of him in front of his girlfriend, because Yuki's not gonna have making jokes and cracking wise. Well, he does manage one joke with his girlfriend, and it's pretty cool. She comes over and he's like, hey, I gave you a key to my apartment, so I'm not going to cheat on you. She's like, no, I'm not going to worry about that. It's like, fine, I'll just throw it away. It's like, give me the fucking key.
Again, it's just really sweet and easy with them, and it's just to see again, he had this facade, or like people got this impression of him being he's a bit of a player, he's kind of cool, but he actually wasn't. But now he's like kind of made that a reality for himself.
Yeah, it's more so like, it's not that he's a cool customer, it's that he's comfortable in himself and he's comfortable with the relationships of the people, and that's a different kind of calm and collected than he was before. Again, you're kind of seeing that growth and the change through by talking about the old relationships and them talking about moving on from that and what they're going to move on to. Yeah.
Everyone's just talking about, we're going to have a big send-off party for Kyo and Toru. You're going to be there. And everyone's saying, yeah, I'm going to be there. Well, I'm going to be there, like say Kagura, not to see Toru off. I'm going to see my darling Kyo off. And as well, like Shigure and Akisho, they're going to go off, live their lives, and more fun. You're going to go to that party and saying, nah, I've already caused too much shit. There's Akido. That's how let's just leave him being along with stuff. Anyways.
Because Rin saying, like, Rin doesn't want to go. It wants to go for Toru, but doesn't want to go in case Akido fucking shows up. Because this is like, I'm never forgiving him. And her boyfriend is like, you don't have to do that. It's cool. Because they were kind of a dick to you.
Just kind of wondering how you want over this fun. So we're not over this really. We're okay if you're not feeling like content with it either. It's okay,
Yeah. Just because they're trying to move on with their lives and not let it control them, it doesn't mean that they're blaming her for not moving on with it. Forgiveness is like a thing you have to do yourself. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. It's just that the cow just go off into the sunset, pretty much. Then we just get this thing from like years and years later where it's just like, hey, where's Toru Honda? And Kyo saying, don't call him that, call him Granny and Granddad. But Granny said I could call her Toru and say, now, ha, 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 ha. And you gotta leave him alone for the romantic walk together, because even it's just still cute and lovey-dovey. And it's just reinforcing in. Ah, yes, that's what Ma'am always said to Toru, is to find those people, keep them close with them, and stay that way until you just grow old. And it's like, yep, took Mama's advice and made a life for yourself, that sort of things. And we get to see the entire photo now. It was like, no, there's baby Toru, there's Toru's mom, and we get to see her dad's face as well. He looks just like a dude. Who knew?
He's just some guy. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Everyone gets the super happy ending. Yeah, and I guess I'll have to find another thing to be upset by, but I'm sure anime will fulfill at some stage.
Yeah, it was good. You know, the guys in the end. It was nice to be like over and over again, be reminded of like, yeah, this thing does, you know, did a lot of very nice and very like genuinely kind of moving things. It was like kind of good at verbalizing some of those kind of complicated little things you have in your head sometimes. You know, you might feel them to different extents. You probably aren't to the extent for like your where kind of the head of your family, who is also God, throws you out a window and he puts you in hospital. Maybe not to that extent, but maybe things about, you know, you're not feeling confident in yourself. You're worried that people hate you or don't like you as much. But actually, no, they do. As for this, you think you're putting in, everyone loves you, like more, especially you, Keith, because you can finally come out and say, by the way, thanks for being around, because you're like the mother I almost had. Thank God I can just say that out loud. It's just like, oh, okay, Yuki, that's still a weird thing about you, but that way, that's the way to say it. Toru, you're the mother I always wanted. There. It's out.
Feels weird to say, but it feels good.
Yeah. While we move on to ODDTAXI, check your connection dial. You go to a bit max headroom.
Oh.
At least on my end.
Skype recorder, that's usually the culprit.
Okay. Righty-ho. ODDTAXI is next. That is episode 13. Where to? Talking of happy endings.
and animal people. In this case, instead of people turning into animals, the animals turn into people.
They do. So we check back in. High-speed chase is happening, but then we check in on Gariki, and he's got his Odakawa's childhood diary sitting open on the passenger seat. And
so like an exciting car chase with the background of like sad child's background.
Yes. And then we get this animated version of what's written in this book about this child's terrible, sad childhood with an abusive mother and a absent father. And his only joy is the animal encyclopedia is Dad brought him going for rides in the car and being left at the zoo while his dad goes and sees his mistress. And then one day, his mum gets the dad drunk, piles him into the car, and drives them into the river. And when he comes out of the river, he just starts seeing humans as animals, and he's perfectly okay with this because he's a lot less nervous. Because he likes animals, he can talk to animals. So therefore, this is how he's survived for like the past 30 years, is seeing humans as animals. Meanwhile, though, there's still a chase going on, and the bridge is out. And he flies off the end of the bridge, the boot flies open, all the money flies out, and meanwhile we check in on every other character who's nearby.
They've all come to the same canal, they'll come to the same river, the same bridge to
be sad.
Think back wistfully about what actions have led them to the situation.
Yes. Except Shirasawa, because she's called Gariki and said, pick me up, we're going to save Odakawa.
I like the way, like, I guess everyone was having a shitty New Year's. They've had a weird year, to be fair. So they're all lamenting at the thing. And they all have a different view on a car falling into the fucking river and the different plop. It becomes like a different visual metaphor for them, except for herself, whose thing is, I'm going to fucking jump in and get him. Which I was like, that's rad. I like that.
It was a nice thing. And I think like there was a director or someone working on tweeted it. It was just like, The whole thing started with a selfie from Kabasawa, and the whole thing's going to end with a selfie from Kabasawa.
That's good.
Then we get a flashback with Goriki and an alligator explaining that the Odokawa's problem is visual agnosia caused by executive dysfunction, which somehow, falling into the water, again, cures him of.
Worked in the Flintstones, why wouldn't it work?
Yes. It fixes head bonk amnesia. Why wouldn't it fix head bonk seeing people as animals? I
think it's probably supposed to be like a metaphor for like he's going through the same kind of trauma, but this time he's got a way out of it rather than a coping mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a little bit more of his details. He's underwater with the tapir coming and introducing himself as being part of the Foundation. And then we catch up in the second half we get to see everybody as humans, and some of them look almost exactly like their animals. It's mainly Goriki and Dobu and...
well, Goriki doesn't have the giant Hulk hands. That's a little different.
And Nikaido, the lead singer of Mystery Kiss. She's got the same poodle haircut. And I guess the one of the Daimons we see looks very similar.
Well, you presume the other Daimon looks the same. You don't need to see him.
And Yano looks pretty much exactly the same. It's Yamamoto's the one who looks the least like.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Imai shows up and gives him some of the cash.
It's the 1,000 or 100,000 that fell in the river. Most of it.
Yeah.
Police couldn't get all of it. But here you go. It's for saving me. It's the least I can do. And Odokawa was like, I don't fucking want to accept this. And I like the way the doctor's like, you can give it to your man and pay off his debt. He's like, no, he will pay that back himself.
Yes.
He's my friend, and I will not help him.
Working on the building site, trying to get his life together.
Yeah. So he goes to see the guy from the Yakuza, Kuro, and gives him a locker key with the cash in it, which is straight out of the Yakuza game. Maybe he's given him the wrong key and there'll be a baby inside.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, thanks for this, because I was thinking of having to close the Foundation down because all my men have been arrested.
Yeah, like he's got good men, so he's not going to get arrested. But it's like, that's basically it for the Foundation of saving kids who have had parents have died in traumatic car crashes. It's just like,
Yes, but which was also serving if we're putting this together as a recruitment avenue for potential Yakuza members or associates. Because Big Diamond has the thing, and he was from the same charity.
That's the theme of it's a theme of at least one episode, one Yakuza installment, Yakuza 3, probably Yakuza 0 as well. But there's also there's a Samurai Champloo, the one with the two rival Yakuzas, where that's the entire thing. It's like, I just run this Yakuza thing because otherwise these kids would get in real trouble.
Like that's often the case. Like that's the positive case when it's presented as the Yakuza being like community forward kind of organizations.
It always comes up that they were like,
they're always in disaster relief. Yeah,
they were always in disaster relief. They were there to be built after the war. Now it was lucrative to do so as well. So they factor that in. They will help out as long as it doesn't hurt business to do so.
Yeah. But that is generally the more positive way to present it. And this guy seems okay, this tapir. He does seem genuinely concerned about his words. It's like, I didn't save a kid that murdered like the girl I'm looking for, which I did like the doctor. I was like, Odokawa, what's in your closet?
Yes.
It's a cat.
It's a cat. I like that. Yeah, because the one rule, his one rule we learn as well is do not kill.
Don't kill it.
Yeah. Yes, I like it just being a cat because obviously it's there from the opening credits from the very start. Also, it's a Doraemon reference, and also it's like, oh, was he just not sure because of his mental health?
It was like, was that a cat or a person? I'm gonna talk to it like it's a person. Yeah.
But then, of course, that is the thing which makes you think at the end, because he keeps on he mentions that, oh, I forgot to mention the thing. Gotta tell the
then
police.
he keeps getting interrupted. Yeah.
It's like, did we ever see? And then we have briefly check in on a whole bunch of other people, as we follow the fake Sakura talking to her mum on the phone, and she's got the pen.
The pen is what we should have been counting, not the bullets.
Yes. So we get to see that Homo sapiens are back together again. And we also briefly see the comedians who won the competition, and they're on this humiliation
variety
show. So they're in their pants climbing up an oily pole. So you're like, okay, they probably were better off doing this.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
You're probably better off running the comedy circuit, honestly. Yeah.
And we get to see your Puma who'd gone berserk, Tanaka, back at his job, deleting his games.
I presume after maybe months of counselling and therapy, he's finally able to get his job back.
I assume that's the...
I mean, like, maybe
he was missing for weeks, if not months.
Yes.
Maybe he had a lot, because he was very driven oriented. Maybe he had a lot of holiday time built up, and they were just like, "Oh, you're back.
A lot of that.
You look great. Have you lost weight?"
A little bit, but eating out of the bins. Men on rinds, not that bad when you get down to it.
I assume that's Shiho at the doctor's before Odakawa picks up a young girl in the back of his taxi and asks her where to. And this, unfortunately, is Sakura. And we've seen, as she's talking to her mum, that she was the one who killed Yuki.
She'll do anything to climb to the top, man. I always say, Joe, I told you, ma'am, you sacrificed so much for me. I sacrificed anything but can get famous and pay you back for it.
Oh yeah, and also they had a party at the bar when Odakawa got out, because that's important if you listen to the radio play, because that final scene is even darker if you listen to the radio play.
So, the episode 12 of the radio play is that party.
Yes.
It's a recording from that party, and throughout the radio plays, they're talking about this pen that they're passing to. It's like, oh, it's this lucky pen. Apparently, you hang on to it, gets passed on to you. It gives you good luck, and you pass on to someone else, and then you get the good luck. It's like paying it forward kind of fucking thing or something.
Is it actually a cursed pen?
No, it's got a recording device in it. What the giraffe picked up on was this recording device because he could pick up the radio signal, and he was making a podcast out of the random recordings from this pen. He even replaced the batteries on it at one stage, I think, in one of the podcast episodes. But I think he had to go get the Odakawa's car and find the pen and replace the batteries. But so the last episode is it is the party they're having after all this has gone down, and the pen gets given to the I can't call her a kangaroo anymore because it's the woman who runs the bar.
The Okama.
Yes, and she reveals in the last podcast that she wanted to be like a detective novel writer. So she had this recording pen. She was trying to get regular conversations to try and get regular dialogue, a lot more naturalistic thing, and maybe it give her inspiration for stories and that kind of thing. But unfortunately, our murdering fucking idol has used this to go oh, so this is information that can be used to hunt me down, right? Who else has had this fucking pen? And she's basically going to go through everyone who's had this, including Odakawa, and just clean up after herself.
Yes, because it ends with her murdering the kangaroo.
Just do anything.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It's dark as fuck.
Because she's already discovered the website that the giraffe's putting out as well in a previous episode.
He's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's in trouble. The doctor's in trouble. Everyone who's had this pen is fucked.
Because the fun thing about it as well, she's just fun spilling her guts in here. We're seeing all fun. It was fun. Her all along was fun doing this, and she gets into the back of the taxi, and we're going to presume because Odakawa can't see animals no more. He
doesn't recognize her.
And that's just it. Oh, the truth escapes into the darkness.
Yes, and they made sure to show you the scene previous is Shirakawa at the hospital. At the hospital, so she can't show up to save him this time. Yeah, it's your ambiguous ending of Doom. Last 5 seconds, Odakawa is
everything's
fucked.
fine. Everybody's happy. Oh god, he's in mortal danger. The end.
Unless, of course, she's too small to beat up a giant 40-year-old man the size of a walrus.
I mean, like the only person we know she's murdered is a teenager of around the same age.
Yes,
So,
she thinks
yeah.
she may just think she's murdered the bartender from the radio.
Yeah.
And if you go for a preferred method of the strangulation from the back,
Yes.
this is how Orwan went out. And he's been victim to that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's clear she's not going to get away with it, but it's like it's not clear whether
Will he get
Otakao is going
away
to survive.
alive?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because one of the, like, you hear the police reports on the telly of like, oh, she's been arrested for suspected murder. It's like, yeah, but she literally didn't do the murder.
Yes.
So unless the police are just going to go, yeah, she probably did the murder. We don't need to look for anyone else. It's like, no, there's still a murderer on the loose.
Yeah, it's fine. It's tight, man. It's all in there. It's all in there.
Yeah.
There's barely anything that gets left unaccounted for, unattended to. It's some tight shit right there.
But again, that radio play stuff, that's great and adds so much more depth to everything, but it's not necessary. Like, this episode tells you everything you need to know. I just wanted to give you the gist of
it's there if you're like, what's up with that pen? Literally, that's the only thing it pays off, that the anime does not pay off itself. Interestingly enough, the announcement of her being arrested is the thing which triggers him remembering about, I've got to tell the police about the girl. So it does leave you with also the question is, has he told the police about the girl? Is he there?
Has he told them in the meantime?
Yes.
Because this is after the party.
It's a great ambiguous ending. He could be doomed, or it could be that the little diamond's going to show up round the corner and arrest her because it was all be a big hero again. You just don't know, and all the people who want a second season, you're not going to get one.
No. This is done. This is out. Yes. This is out.
I would like a solid.
I would love to see what these people do.
But I'm fine with it. The thing is, like, I guess because I'm generally positive, and because the mood and tone of the show is leaning towards positive and justice and better things happening, I tend to think that's the way it would go. But I don't know for sure, and that ambiguity is interesting.
Yes, I feel like that's just that's kicking the chair out from underneath you after you've got comfortable.
It could easily be.
But I suspect if there is an answer, it'll be in the comic.
Yeah, that's
because that could be the place you could put it, because the comic's drawn by the writer of the show, so he's perfectly free to put as many more extra details, because he's got the extra details about passing over the phone between Tanaka and Sakura, so there's a good chance that it'll fill in any other little. I imagine it will probably also show you how Shirakawa just happened to be on that building site, because that's the other question people have. And maybe also the question I've got is like, why does Yamamoto say they're trying to get footage of Wadagaki in episode 11 when he should be saying they're trying to get footage of Mitsuya?
Yeah, there might have been other things that were red herrings, but just because we didn't know the extra information.
It'd be an interesting little bit of extra character to his thing. He's like, I'm so geared on making this a thing. I know she's murdered her, and I'm going to just ignore it.
I prefer to be successful as an idol.
I'm going to cover it up. But he may have gone from, I'm covering up the fact that we chopped the body up and threw it in the river, to I'm now covering up the replacement Yuki Mitsuya I've got is the one who murdered.
Again, that'd be more reason for the police to be after a murderer out there, because it's like I did chop up the body, but I didn't kill her. I can tell you who fucking did. Yeah, exactly. Again, that ambiguity is great.
Yes.
And as you say, Niall, I'm more interested than a sequel in what these folks are going to do next, because this is fucking excellent.
Yeah. There's just one last thing on the direction there, which probably things dropping into water. There's a great bit there as like the three idols are watching the car drop in. He's thinking of like, something falling into liquid. Like the middle one is just like, she also was taking baths because she was conscious of that from school or something like that. And then, of course, Ford Nikaido was like dropping the fucking pile of the body into the river.
It's like image of comfort, image of fucking trauma. It's just like, ooh, rough. Yeah.
It's a good match cut. I'm a sucker for that.
Anyway, we had a stray cat brought in Odd Taxi 13. We've also got a stray cat brought in Tsushima episode 1, which you can find on YouTube. You can also find its web animation companion, but we'll talk about that next week because that airs Saturday, I think. So what we've got here is
a very big cat.
A very large
Have you ever heard of a
cat.
cartoon about like a fat cat that likes eating and talking, and it's sassy? Tip of my tongue.
It's hard boiled. He's a hard boiled. Is why he might impose upon you. He was gracious for your benevolence.
No, he's actually a nice cat. He is polite. You got to give him that.
Mm.
I mean, like he's a little brusque and rude by accident, but yeah.
He's nice to the ladies.
When he
But
realizes
yes.
they are ladies.
Yeah, he's also Aki Atsuka, and the old lady is Yumi Tanaka. So, particularly the image of the old lady dragging the cat indoors. I was just like, it's like Luffy dragging Blackbeard.
Come on, Blackbeard, come on and feed you. It's got that extra layer of humor that is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And the female cat is voiced by, I can't remember her name now, it's the woman who plays Big Mum. Yes.
I didn't realise. That's great.
She hasn't done the voice yet, but there is a bit in the preview where the voice is a lot closer when that cat gets angry, but it sounds a lot more like Big Mum. Yeah, so the first half is, I found a cat, I'm going to bring it inside. It introduces itself very humbly to the other cats. And the second half is, the old lady is going to eat some sushi, and the cat, Tsushima, he's already had a massive amount of food, but he wants human food as well. Also, she can hear him talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to be the initial thing of why to take him home. It's just like, a talking cat. I should probably not let him eat out of the garbage.
Well, I don't know. Surely has 2 cats, and over time you kind of get this rapport. You kind of get a feel of the personality for the cat. I know a lot of cat owners, so they talk to their cats a lot.
Yeah, there's 3 more cats. There's 2 that she owns, and then I think there's another one. I can't remember if he's in this episode who just comes in the house.
I don't believe so in this one.
Not in this one.
I'm sure they'll be introduced at a later date. Yeah,
it's only a minute and a half.
Has to be told off that you can't eat human foods. It's dangerous. Have another massive can of tuna.
We've been talking so much more longer about the episode than it is long, but it is a not photorealistic, but photorealistic textured cartoon cat.
Yep.
It's sort of like it's a bit like a paper cutout moving from pose to pose in a sense. He has that thing. We feels like he's a sticker put onto the background.
Yeah, it looks fucking wonderful, and it is pretty funny as well. Yeah.
The web's done in a different style. Done in a web animation style, one would say, which is probably why they've labelled it such. But it was the only thing from this week that was new that I watched and enjoyed.
Yeah, well, there are things coming.
There's things coming, yes.
I've seen some previous things, but I think they were just put out early for preview purposes.
Right.
So they aren't actually airing week to week just yet.
We'll be back next week with something
what
I
you're
was
talking about.
really excited about and then massively disappointed about when I watched it, but that'll be in next week's run of stuff.
Yay!
Let's welcome back something that we always get excited about. That's Dragon Quest, because it's off of the recaps and into the good stuff again.
Yes, but good stuff that does not require our best animators, so let's do it as quickly as possible. The Adventure and Die, episode 38, The World Summit. Not to be confused with the Reverie. Leona has called a world summit of all the leaders who haven't had their countries completely destroyed by the evil army.
Appears to be most of the south countries, like the north is just fucked.
It's basically the people we've met plus a general who's managed to escape from the north.
Yeah. She rightfully points out, lads, you all went and tried to take on these things by yourself. You got to form a coalition against this because they got loads of dudes. They got 6 goddamn legions of dudes. We got to
Less
come together
now,
and form a united
but yeah.
front. Yeah, a lot less now. But we got a hero. We got a superhero and his party. We can use them instead.
Also, turned out that guy under the cloth was the Grand Master. Who would have thought it? Who's here to tell his trainees how good they are. Even you, Chew. You've learned that you've got to work before you get fame. Yeah,
you can't just want people to like you. You need to do shit that impresses people, and then all the other martial artists are like, "Yeah, you're pretty good, rat." Ha ha ha.
Don't do it for the likes. Just do it because you like it.
Yeah.
Wise words there. He wants to join the party. It's just like, and even Pop is going, "Oh, we gotta let this dweeb in, do we?" But Pop, let him in because then you got someone who's like a bigger dweeb than you were, so you can kind of talk down to him.
You look cool in comparison to the fat rat. It's great. He does the magical equivalent of fucking like as opening the car door and is like, come on in, and then put the accelerator, which is a bit of a dick move, but yeah, we're going to let the mouse in, obviously.
Meanwhile, at the Monster Soap Opera, Mistvern has discovered that Hadlar has already been defeated and that he's inside Zamura's lab. But Hadlar's like, "Oh, do me a solid, Mistvern. Can you attack the humans while I regenerate my body and turn into a super being?
And don't tell the boss that I fucked up, because I'm like, I've given up my body, given up my magic and shit. I got really good at explosive magic, but I got to give that shit up so I can kill them, but I just need you to distract them." Oh no, wait, they've solved that problem now, haven't they? The magic problem.
Well, the thing is, so they got to basically build him cell by cell, but so he will use his darkling body, which is like, you're just general all-purpose, like, dark elf demon dude, which some kind of long life or immortality. But he has to give all that up now because he's got to change to something entirely different. He's got to become a horrible butterfly to kill that kid.
And Miss Fern agrees because it's like, oh, your pride was your one weakness, and you've clearly given that the fuck up because you're giving up your whole body and your whole deal. So yeah, I'll help you out and attack the humans as a distraction.
I'll
drive the cat.
Yeah.
The boss gave me the keys to the castle, so I'm just gonna fucking drive it down there.
And I'll march loads of knights aberrant along the seafloor.
They don't need to breathe; they're just empty suits of armor. So yeah, you're good.
And then meanwhile, as he's doing this, though, Kilvern's there. Going, "Oh, hello, what's he up to?" But he's got the key. It must be approved.
Dear.
Anyways, we're kind of going around again. It's like we got to find a sword that won't break when Dai uses it. We'll use this. Well, I bring them here. We do some kind of a seance. What's that fucking called? We're basically going to use kind of fortune telling. We'll drop the fire onto the paper and I'll spell out the name of where you need to go. And it's just like Lanrig's village. Anybody know what it is? It's like Pops goes, "No, that place where I was raised and ran away from to become a hero. My parents probably pissed off at me. And I don't want to go back to this yet because it'd be super awkward." It's like, "Sorry, we gotta go and get a sword." And we go back. And it's fine because he kind of blurts out when his mother trying to keep quiet. "Ma'am! Ma'am!" And she's happy to see him. But Dad is like, "Pop, you little bastard!" And start wrestling him right off of
wrestling him in the street.
Didn't even leave a note. What the fuck are you thinking? Yeah.
Hey, you don't have any magic swords in your weapons shop, do you, old man? He's like, "No, but I know a cool guy who lives in the woods who probably has something like that." And it's like, it's a darkling who's drinking himself to death.
What's his name? Lon Barrock, the same Lon Barrock who made like the dark armor sword and spear that Junko's always going on about. It's very same, but yeah, he's lost his because what's the point of making cool swords? There's nobody cool to wield is buckle under the pressure.
So he's just like, "Dai, take one of those stupid magic swords I made over there." So he's like, "All right, let me just inject my power into this one. No, this one's no good. I need one that can take my dragon power." He's like, "Wait, sorry, what? Dragon power?" It's like, "Yeah, I put the dragon power into the dark sword you made, and it broke 8, but it also broke your sword." It's like, my fucking sword stood up to that legendary sword. Holy shit. Okay, I'm back in the game, boys.
Yeah, his change of tune is great.
It's really good. Yeah. It seems like it's like for a character we've never fucking seen before. It seems like a really quick turn in the same scene, in the same fucking room of character, but it's just like it feels right.
It
They do a
does.
great
I
job.
mean, people who read the comic in the comments were going, "This is moving too quickly," but it worked for me.
I think it's just fast enough because this is getting towards like the end game of the quest, like, and we've gotten to the stage in the Dragon Quest video game. We've been knocked fast travel. You know, other bits of the map you weren't able to access before. Like I starting village, like use new parts to get a bit, and you gotta get the extra items and bring it back here to get the best gear. It's the intermittent bit where you're preparing, you know, doing a bit of grinding, doing a bit of leveling. To get the best equipment for your party, because they rush back home. It's like Orichalcum, the legendary medal of the god. That's nowhere to be found. Back home, we gotta go back to Monster Island because we got that dumbass like crown of champions made Orichalcum.
I
Granddad,
love
where's the
them
crown?
running in,
The
like, the kids running in. It's like, Dad, where's the football? We're playing football. It's like, it's in the cupboard. It's like, you're not even gonna fucking say hello. All right, cool. It was a good funny bit of like the kids running in, looking for the magic crown. So yeah, they have enough presumably material to make Dai a good magic sword.
Sweet ass sword.
Mm.
That's good. It's good. It's good to have it back again. It's like, oh yeah, well, have it back. You know, a bit. Well, not a recap thing. So even missing a week out, I didn't realize how much of it. It's like, oh, I gotta have my Dragon Quest this week. That's why I was feeling so off. Getting excited all over again.
Right, and then we've got Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, episode 12, Kalego-sensei's home visit, in which Opera decides to take their payment for helping out with the haunted basement trick from a few episodes ago, and that is to make Kalego go and do a home visit. Which I believe is different from the comic. I believe in the comic he decides to do it himself.
I think it's actually better because it's just the kind of thing he would not want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think also because I think the stuff with the flashback to their youth is from a side story that happened later. So I wonder if the author has decided that this would be a suitable change.
Yeah, it's more like a logical progression, or it's more fun at the very least.
Yeah. His opposition to it as well, it makes his actual his actual pretense, his actual like approach to teaching actually seem much more resonant then, because you think, he's a bit of a grouchy old motherfucker, but he does care about the welfare of his students and wants them to succeed in their studies.
Yes, he feels like a realistic teacher.
I like in his little folio of all the information about the student. He goes like, here's their bad points, here are their strengths and how they have improved. Like, he's not gonna like deny that in front of the kids to their family. It's just like, no, they have improved significantly over the school term. Like,
compliment sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Luckily, he avoids Alice's mother. He was afraid that he was going to run into her.
Well, Alice planned that himself to make sure schedule just when she was out of the house.
We get to see some more of his kind of family situation with the sisters who are jealous of Iruma. He's like, hey, listen, Iruma comes first, kids. All right. It's just so mean.
Iruma comes a big dummy. He's a big meaty, but saying, how dare you say that about Iruma-kun? Get back here.
And the butler kind of going like, oh, he's really opened up because he was so like serious, and everyone was like, oh, they expect great things. But like now that he's given his liege more thing, he's really opening up and being like a more full person. And he's just like, oh, please tell me more about him, Kalego. And like, let me tell you his entire backstory from birth.
But yeah, I like I
was full of love. That.
Yeah, I like the idea of the butler being more invested in Alice's upbringing than his own parents are.
It's his job. So,
it is. But also because you can easily imagine like Alfred from Batman doing the same.
Yeah, very much so.
And then of course,
I was tackling that like a kind of going okay, like, you know, he's devoted to Iruma-kun right now, but he has to realize that, you know, he's got to like build himself up too, you know, and he focuses on building himself up. He'll be a better Iruma-kun in the future, you know, see that somewhere down the line. Butler's going, okay, but when will he get to that point? Really, tell me, I need a number.
Tomorrow, next week, a year. Give me the time scale. Yeah.
And then he goes to see Clara's family, and we get a new song.
Fuck yes. It made me laugh straight away with him just stepping inside, moving that 1 foot back out. It's like, I've done my visit. That made me laugh so fucking hard. I had to pause it for a minute. It was great. But new song also. It's like, please, teacher, tell us all the stupid questions that we have. Tell us the answer. So good.
And then the older brother shows up to apologise about the rest of his family, and he's like, "Were you adopted?"
Once in a blue moon, a normal child is born within the family. Yeah, good stuff.
I should actually check if Ayaka Sai, did she do the voice of the eldest son as well?
I assume right?
Does the rest of the family, so it must be, right?
Yeah.
Unless that's why he's so different, that he's not voiced by the same actor.
Mother, Kibo, Kanchi, Ran Sinsen. I don't know. Check back on this later. It'll be the show notes that we don't have.
Yeah. Then we get like a brief glimpse of the other families. You got to go and have a sword fight with Goemon's dad.
His giant dad.
Who's about 30 feet tall.
Yes. Jazzy's brother tries to nick Caligo's wallet.
Your man's mother is like trying to marry him, I think, because he's a real winner.
Oh, yeah.
She's addicted to games in a different way, like bigger games, adult games.
The guy with the lion's head, his dad also has a lion's head and is also just as perplexing as...
Well, I'm assuming that's probably going to find because your son's a straight A student, not much to add to the top of his class. What's the do with your lion head, though?
Yeah. And I assume it's a tradition that you give presents to the teacher because we see his bags keep on getting bigger and bigger until he gets to.
I assume that's like when he came back from the Clara family, like they gave him a big bag of goodies, and they were like, "Oh, we're supposed to give gifts, okay?" Like, and they just kept loading him up after. Yeah, that's what I figured.
They're asking him, teacher, why do we keep breaking into musical numbers? I don't know. I was here for 2 hours doing them with you.
And then we get to the one he wanted to do the least, which is Iruma's. Not because of Iruma, not because of the chairman.
Of the boss. Yeah.
It's because of opera. Because we learn that when he was at school, everyone thought he was a dangerous delinquent because he matched the description of someone with dark, messy hair and 2 horns sticking up.
And a kind of an androgynous look, but they look really like dour kind of thing.
Yes.
It's like, all right, Kalego, don't be fun bigging yourself up like that. That's what they're saying about me, though.
Like, everyone's giving me looks in the lunchroom. He's saying to his best friend.
Yes.
Some people have like devastating good looks, a quick wit, impeccable sense of fashion. Who else could that be?
And then we find out it is opera.
It was beating up half the school by the look of it.
Yes. And I guess that's why opera's got a black tail. It's because that must be their natural fur colour as a demon.
Oh, that never really occurred to me. Yeah, that's true. Opera dyes their hair. Okay. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, and there's a great deal of opera bullying Kalego in the past and in the present, but then Iruma sees the book and the notes that he's written on them, and he's like, he writes them for all the class members.
He's touched.
Yes.
Your grandson's a little bastard who's always causing trouble, but he is very inspirational and very genuine and earnest and honest with that, so he's got that going for him.
He's not only improved himself, he's improved everyone else around him. Yeah.
But shouldn't take on so much responsibility to the point of self-sacrifice.
That was kind of a novel, because that was a theme that MEGALOBOX was kind of big on as well, which Joe had to learn. And very succinctly put it in the anime, the cartoon you wouldn't think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's the final thing where you're like, okay, Kalego is... And there's always been hints of it, particularly in this season so far, of him being a good teacher. But it's like, that's quite sweet. That's quite on the nose reading of Iruma's personality. It's not like... Because it's easy to think, because you focus on the kids all the time, that you don't know like how much are the adults noticing. And it's like, okay, he's doing a good
Yeah.
job
I
as
mean,
a
he's
teacher.
even got something nice to say about Clara as well. Like,
Yes.
oh, she's a bit rambunctious, she's a bit inconsiderate, but she's really good at, getting people, to kind of to go on. You even kind of come down to her level a little bit, to kind of be a bit more open about themselves as well. Just got to, be mindful about personal space and things,
Yeah, I like the fact that it's like, oh, she can improve if she does, like, she calms down a little and just focuses a little more. And it's like, she can improve, I can improve. And it's like, if she does these things that I said before, like, yeah, they're not really paying attention to that part and they're going to burst into song again. But because he's been forced to suffer, the children will also be forced to suffer with extra homework for summer. And it's like, you just like torturers, don't you, teacher? And he's like, I do.
I do.
He's a good teacher, but he is a little bit of a shit. I mean, like, most of the characters in this show are. So, yeah.
But it was really good enough. He's being good at heart, but it's not diluting. Like, yeah, he's also going to be like a bit of a jerk for his own amusement because that's like the way fun he gets in his job.
And then the class, except for the one character who did not appear in this episode and nobody ever talks to and has never been named.
That's pretty mean, lads. Really mean of you.
Show up at the door and ask Iruma if he wants to come to the amusement park with them. Walter Park.
Little did Iruma know, though, that there would be an incident for the shock the ages at the very same amusement park.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing knockoff Demon Disney Park. That does look pretty good.
This is the big story arc for this season, is the Walter Park story. Which, as I said early on, is good because, hey, look, all the characters are here, apart from the one who's a joke that they're never mentioned. But they'll get their arc eventually. Highly enjoyable. Don't think they changed openings, did they, on the previous season?
Did they change?
I don't think they did. No,
they didn't.
No, the disappointing thing, I think the band who did the first two openings have now split up because one of them fell ill and the rest of them decided they weren't going to continue the band without them.
Oh, that's fair though. Yeah. Unfortunate, but
yeah, because the songs really set the tone of the episodes.
I preferred the first one, but yeah, I get what you mean.
They get the energy going up, and you're ready to roll. Right, that is it for this week. Because we know more Thunderbolt Fantasy. So next week it will be Tsushima, Dragon Quest, Iruma-kun, My Hero Academia, and I guess we've got space for three more things because Tsushima's really short.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like, we're coming back to normal numbers, but it's so fucking it's less than 2 minutes. Like, you've no reason to not be watching it, lads.
Yeah,
and it's free. It's free. Go
and the other one's like only the web one's only like 10 seconds longer.
10 seconds. Oh, brilliant.
So I've already watched Get a Robo Arc.
Yeah.
And I've watched some of Life Lessons with Uramichi Oni-san, but I have not watched the entire episode.
I saw people. Is that the one people were complaining about the subtitles?
I've no idea. It's just
new.
It doesn't have enough zip for my taste. It feels like something where I'd be like, oh, this should be to my tastes, but it moves just a fraction too slow.
Probably shouldn't be in a full TV half hour. Then maybe something would have
done better. I think it also suffers because of Heaven's Design team having a similar aesthetic and a better script.
Yeah, because I mean that was never the best looking show, but it was just fucking tight. Like, I
think it's the difference between not having a Michiko Yokotei doing the scripts and not having a Michiko Yokotei doing the scripts. So I think she's really good at taking a comedy manga and turning that script into something which works on TV.
Doing like a 20-25 minute kind of thing. Yeah. Not the easiest job in the world, no.
And Sunny Boy won't be till the following week.
Okay.
So did you want to watch the first episode of Godzilla Singular Point?
Fuck it. Might as well.
I'll give it a look. We should finish Great Pretender.
Yes, well, we might have, if nothing else is good,
I need-
then I might suggest doing that as well.
I would see if we go, or even just finish it in our own time and see
Yeah,
what we think of it.
'cause I mean, I'm not seeing anything till Sunny Boy that catches my fancy.
The case study of Vanitas, that's not on yet. So yeah, I just get confused because like, oh, there's like no Fuse Up for the Brave, and where are they watching it? Well, obviously they've got like from screeners or whatever like that, or they've it was like a one-off like screening things or anything else. Nope. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Worst case
just
scenario, we have a shorter episode next week of things that we're going to go. Let's drop this straight away. But it'd be nice to dip our toes in something before getting really fucking swimming around in some stuff we enjoy more.
Yeah, I might have time to go back and watch a little bit more of Pretty Cure because there have been some duels that transpiring in that.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's true. I might talk about Zenkaiger next week as well, because this past Sunday's Zenkaiger was incredibly good.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, we might talk about that next week. But yeah, there's nothing too exciting on the schedule. I definitely have things to say about Get a Rainbow Arc though.
Yay!
So look forward to that. Otherwise, we're back here Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes.
Excellent. We will see you then. Let me hit this button.